children are not moving around enough. They're not getting enough sports.
Can you jump? Those are all words that when they're doing it, you should put a word to it. Next, I'm going to do it, but you tell me what it is.
So the movement chart is... Young children need to be exposed to an educational environment, to experience in the home where they can learn how to use their complete body. And they need to understand something that we have an insight today. We'll learn a lot about the movement chart. And let's start by welcoming, of course, a regular on this show, Dr. Debby Mitchell.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be able to talk about this.
Again, another very specific passion of yours, movement. Where did this start, this passion?
Because especially young children, they learn by moving and interacting with their environment. But for me, that's the way I lifelong learn. I have to move. I have to feel it. I'm a kinesthetic learner. So I found that most children are kinesthetic learners, so we need to give them the things they need when they're young.
But I learned from you today, very interesting, that you're a lifelong learner. You're still learning how to move. I heard you're like in a tango class.
I am doing dancing, rumba, waltz, all those things that I didn't do when I was younger because I love to move, and it just makes me so happy.
And you were never exposed to this?
Well, not really. Line dancing. Yeah. Line dancing was the only thing, but not ballroom dancing.
So have you learned any new movements that you're like surprised?
I am surprised at how quickly I'm learning it. So, and I think that's because of my base of being a movement learner.
That's awesome. So you never stop learning.
Never stop
But
learning.
how do we start young children interested in learning about their movement and the importance, especially in a day and age where children are sitting most days, very passive learning. Children are not moving around enough. They're not getting enough sports. And with that comes the side effects of obesity and children that are very passive, that are in front of the video game or consoles or whatever, or the internet. So let's switch that script. And today we're going to have a lot of demonstrations. I love when you come to with a show with so many colors and props.
I love, and that's what children love that.
Yes.
Think about it. We're going to be like children. But
so let's start.
The movement chart. Yeah. Most people don't even understand the word. What a movement chart.
Sounds fancy, but
my undergraduate degree was in physical education. So as a physical educator, we had a movement chart, and over the years I have added to that chart because these are words that are not concrete to children. They're abstract until they experience them. For example, let's just use our hands. Can you move your hands far away from each other?
Yeah.
Can you move your hands close together? Can you move your hands at a high level? Can you move your hands to a low level? Yeah. So where did you learn far, near, high, and low?
Yeah.
When you were young.
Yeah.
If you read it in a book, but you'd never experienced or seen what something high or something far away was, you wouldn't know what it is. So it's these things that are in our vocabulary that we assume that everybody knows, but young children have to experience to know what it is. When you talk about that car is far away, and you tell a child that, and they see the car that it's far away, and the next you say, this car is near to us, then it starts making sense. But it's much easier with movement.
Okay, so let's get started. So you've added to the movement chart. So the movement chart is?
They're in categories for body awareness, spatial awareness, manipulatives. They're in different categories for words that children need to experience. So when I was a physical educator and I taught in the elementary school and I worked with young children, I would make sure to build my lessons around these words so that they could experience them and learn them at the same time.
So let's start like awareness, for example.
Let's talk about body awareness. Well, first of all, body awareness, pretend that you are pushing something. Okay, so what could I do in my house or in my school? What could I use to push? Just to help me think of a few things. Do some brainstorming.
Oh, like a box,
I could push a
furniture.
Furniture, a toy.
But not in the school. No.
And not push your brother or sister.
No. Yes.
But there are things that I could say, can you push that box?
Yeah.
Okay, now can you pull that box?
So they're understanding.
They're learning push and pull. I'm on the swing set. I'm going to push you. Now I'm going to pull you back. Okay, I'm going to push you. So you use the terminology while they're actually moving, so they start making that connection between the word. When they're pushing something, they don't know that they're pushing something. It's just a fun thing to do. But you go, oh, you're pushing the wagon. Thank you for helping me push the wagon. Oh, can you pull the wagon? So you start making those words concrete.
I love
the same thing with...
So what are those awareness words? So push, pull.
Push, pull. Can you balance on one foot? Can you balance on your other foot? Can you balance on both feet? Can you balance on your tiptoes? So balance is an awareness type of word. Can you walk? Can you skip? Can you jump? Those are all words that when they're doing it, you should put a word to it. So they're running, say, oh, you ran really fast to the car. Oh, you're walking. Can you walk really slow? Can you walk backwards? Those are all body awareness things that they can do. Then you also have their own body awareness. And you can say, can you touch your head? Barney, can you touch your head?
Okay. Yeah.
Can you touch your shoulders? So right now I'm labeling it. Can you touch your knees? Yeah. Can you touch your nose? Next I'm going to do it, but you tell me what it is.
Head.
Do it with me.
Yes, head, shoulders, knees, nose.
So now I know that you are learning it. Because
so it's an assessment piece. So so at home, how can parents incorporate that into the learning routine at home?
By giving them challenges. So can you run to the couch? Can you move really slow to the couch? Tell me, is that ball far or near to us? Can you show me how you could kick the ball far? When you get to the ball, is it near to you? The other thing you could do, and this would be standing, but I'm just going to show you. I usually have a spot on the floor, and I have the kids do things. Can you stand on top of your plate? Can you walk around your plate? Can you walk backwards around your plate? Can you stand on one foot on your plate? Can you jump over your plate? Can you straddle your plate? Can you move far away from your plate? Can you move next to your plate? Can you move in front of your plate? You could also do it if you have blocks. You could say, can you stack on top of your block? Mm-hmm. Can you put your block beside it? Can you put it near it? Can you put it far away from it? So all those things are help teaching those relationships and words.
And it's amazing because we take it for granted because we already know that. But for a child, they need repetition. They need to do it many, many, many times until they actually understand the abstract concept. And I love that the body and those movements is a great way for them to learn abstract concepts. I love that. So besides the awareness in the movement chart, what else do we have?
Relationships. Relationships was the near and far. We can also start reinforcing shapes. Okay. And this, you could use a ribbon. This just happens to be a little ribbon. Can you make a circle?
Okay.
Can you make a circle the other way? Well, that's a circle.
Yeah.
Can you make a big circle? So now I'm reinforcing the word big. Can you make the smallest circle you can make? Can you go up and down? Can you go, is this high? Is this low? High, low. But you label it while they're doing it. And we did do a segment on steady beat. With these things, you can actually then reinforce steady beat. High, low, up, down.
Following the steady beat.
Up, down. Can you go side to side, side to side, side to side? Can you go diagonally?
Yeah.
Now, what do you do up and down, side to side, and diagonally? Writing.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are pre-writing skills before they start. I love it so much. Imagine the patience of our amazing toddler teachers. I mean, like while you were talking, I was like, wow, how much patience do you need to be doing this for 8 hours, okay, in different domains, but just going over the 20 minutes of like gross motor skills and teaching this. So this is what the toddlers teachers are doing in the gross motor section.
Exactly.
Like,
so what parents can reinforce at home.
And parents can do this at home, but it takes like a lot of patience, right? Because you were like, oh, I do it 2 times. No, it's repetitive. It's doing it on a consistent basis. Is adding challenges as they grow, bigger circles, bigger other types of shapes, and understanding how all the other areas of learning domains correlate to movement.
Well, and I'm glad you said that, because talking about other shapes, we were doing a circle, but could we make it in a square?
Yeah.
How many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4. Square, 2, 3, 4. So I'm still languaging. I'm doing it steady beat. I can also do an oval. Can you do an oval?
Yeah.
Can you do a triangle? Go up, diagonal, across, up, diagonal, across.
Yeah.
All of that is going to be your precursors to writing. Can you walk in a straight line? Can you do a zigzag line? Zigzag. Can you zigzag up and down?
And one thing that is very important to mention, the success of a child when they enter formal school, all those like skills are built actually during those early years. These activities, so if you have a child that is 1 and you're like, oh, they're not learning, they are learning everything. So having this intentional experience with movement, that's the topic, it's a great way to like build that strong foundation for literacy and all this. So besides the awareness and relationships, is there anything else on your movement chart?
I just want to keep reinforcing those concepts. Something like a bean bag is very good. You can put it on your shoulder. See if you can move around on your shoulder. Did I give you one? Here you go.
Oh.
Here you go. Put a bean bag on your head. Now, we aren't going to do this, but I would challenge my child. Can you walk in a straight line with your beanbag? Can you walk zigzag? And I could even put things down that they could zigzag around. Can you bend down low? Oh, look, I dropped my beanbag. Can you try it again and see what you need to do to keep your balance and not lose your beanbag?
I love it.
Can you walk around with your beanbag on your hand? Can you take your beanbag far away from you? Can it bring it close to you? Can you raise your beanbag up? Can you bring it low? And then the beginning part of catching, just a little bit. And you start with catching, throwing and catching, and then you throw to them to catch, because a beanbag is easier to catch than a ball. Then you go to things, let's see, we have some other things that we can do. Again, we did the together and apart with our sticks. We can tap on the floor. We can tap all the different body parts and say them. And so there's so many, many things that you can do to music, without music. But I also want to say that you can do it without anything. You can have your child on the floor and you say, can you get as little as you can? Get really, really small. But they have to understand the word of little.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then you get little and show them. Can you show me how you can get as wide as you can? And they will show you. Can you show me how you can get as tall as you can? And they can show you. So all these things you can do. And the other thing is, when you see them do it, label it. So if I see that you're stretching your arms up high, I'm going to say, Marnie, you're stretching your hands up so high. Now that you stretched them high, can you make your hands wide? So build off of something that they're already doing.
That's awesome.
But add the words to it so they start making that connection in the brain.
And what is spatial awareness?
Spatial awareness is how close you are to something else. If you don't have very good spatial awareness, you might get in a lot of car accidents. Or run into people at the grocery cart in the grocery cart.
Yeah.
So you want to do things
Or invade somebody else's space.
Yes, you invade somebody else's space. So you can use things where you put down markers on the floor and say, this is your space, your personal space. This is my personal space. Now we're going to move around our little markers on the floor without stepping on them. Can we move in a circular pattern? Can we move in a straight pattern and not touch anything else? The other thing is, you could have a hula hoop. Can you crawl through the hula hoop? Can you crawl through the tunnel? Can you go over the chair? You can make obstacle or challenge courses in your house for them to crawl under, go over, go beside, and that helps teach their personal space and that spatial awareness that they need for later. It's obviously used in sports, but it's used in everyday life.
Absolutely, and that's something you can build at home. But I heard you talk about movement quality.
Movement quality can be how fast. So can you shake your hands slow? Can you shake your hands fast? Can you move your hands apart? That's, again, distances. Can you move them at a regular beat? Can you move them at a regular pattern?
Yes.
Can you kick the ball fast and hard? So then you have effort. Can you kick the ball gently? So you're learning all of this quality of movement, whether it's hard, irregular, soft, fast, slow, that are things that you need for driving a car.
Yeah.
For all the other activities of walking on the street. Do you need to speed up your speed? Do you need to slow down your speed? And you can actually say, we're going to pass this person, so we need to walk really fast.
So a lot of children have a good exposure to gross motor movements and skills like this, right? But there's what's called fine motor skills. How does that, how do you introduce that? Can you give some examples?
Of the fine motor skills, you're going to take the things they did in big motions and make it smaller. So on a sheet of paper, you might have them draw a zigzag, and maybe you even have the lines for a zigzag. You have them draw a straight line. You have them draw a line up and down. You have them manipulate manipulatives to draw the straight line on the dirt.
Yeah.
You do that first, and then can you draw it with your finger in the dirt? Can you make a circle? Can you make a triangle? So it translates then into the smaller movements.
So smaller movements with the hands is a precursor for writing. So when does those exercises begin at home?
Again, just like we did with Steady Beat, they have to have a foundation of their gross motor skills. If they move too quickly into the fine motor, they aren't going to be successful. So if I can't do this, or I can't do this, I'm going to have trouble with scissors. If I can't do this playing, I'm going to have trouble with a fork and knife.
And that relates a lot to another topic that is very important, is that importance of allowing kids to participate in the house chores and real life skills, because a lot of times when we have the little babies, we want to do everything for them. We're going to cut the thing, but actually allowing them to manipulate these objects at an early age is actually helping them with their fine skills.
It's so helpful. Can they pick up something and move it? The other thing that we didn't do was the parachute.
Oh, yeah.
Or actually the scarf. The scarf. And if you don't have a scarf, you can actually use a grocery bag. Can they throw and catch it? Can they throw and catch it with the other hand?
Yeah.
Can they throw and catch it with both hands? Can they throw and catch it on their head? Can they catch it on their back? This is another gross skill, but then you can start saying, with this, can you make a smaller triangle? So you go from your big triangle, which is gross motor, to can you make a small triangle? Yeah. Can you make a smaller triangle? So you're going from that big gross motor movement that they are confident in and actually connecting it. If you aren't connecting it and all of a sudden you say, draw a small triangle, they may not be able to do it. But if they have drawn a big triangle, and the triangle gets smaller, and the triangle gets smaller, and the triangle gets smaller, then you're helping them go from gross to fine motor.
Absolutely. Well, I think this episode has been very hands-on. I love when you come here that you bring all these props, because we can actually show and demonstrate what parents can do at home. So today was all about incorporating movement and the movement chart and talking about awareness, body awareness, spatial awareness, and the importance of allowing children to move and be very cognitive and mindful about introducing these activities. So if you're a parent and you're staying at home and you're working from home and whatever, now you have tips on, okay, let me stand up every X minutes and incorporate these activities for my child.
It gets their mind going. Because, as you know, you can't be still for too long. You need to wake up that brain. So you wake up the brain, have them do a few activities. It's reinforcing some things. And I also want to mention that the tables that have the rice that they can draw is good for fine motor. Letting them use a plastic knife or scissors with Play-Doh, and the safety scissors for cutting. You want to expose that as soon as they're interested. And
for parents that stay at home with their little ones, having pre-planned activities, everything like their busy bags and ideas of things that you can do on activities. It's all about the planning takes away some, having this minutes of mindfulness, movement activities with a movement chart. That keeps the daily routine going and your child's brain active. We are building a child's brain during the first 5 years of the man wherever they are, if they're in school, if they're at home, if they're with grandma. So we have to be very intentional about building that brain architecture during the early years and exposing them all the areas of their learning, their movement, their literacy, their math, being very intentional about it at home and at school. Well, I think this has been a wonderful episode. I had a lot of fun, like always with you. Always enjoy knowing that you are a lifelong learner.
Yes.
And that you keep learning no matter how young you keep getting.
I'm getting younger every year.
Every year. We'll catch up one day.
I'm getting a year smarter.
Yeah, you are. Oh, I love it. You look it. You look younger every year. But I love that's one of the key foundations of future ready parenting, becoming a lifelong learner yourself. Learning, exploring things that you've never done. If your child sees you doing something like that with your movement chart, which is the topic of the day, guess what? They're going to try it and they're not going to be afraid of becoming lifelong learners themselves. So thank you so much for coming, for bringing all these props, for demonstrating things that we can do at home. And if you found this episode helpful, please share with you the comments, things that you would like to learn, things that you would love us to discuss here on the podcast, ideas that you can bring home to get your child ready for the future and for school and beyond. Subscribe, like this episode. Thank Dr. Debby Mitchell for sharing that wealth of knowledge, and we will see you in the next episode of Raising Innovators.